my loves, to a new pick a card. This one is going to be all about your next glow up, and glow ups can mean anything, right? It's about what we make them mean. You feeling better in your skin, you feeling more confident, or just stepping into kind of this new era. And I feel like the energy, it's now almost June. I feel like we've gone through some kind of transformation and we are now ready to step into this new version. But for some of us, it might feel a little bit weird, like what that version is going to be like. Maybe we do not really feel like this next version, but we feel like something needs to change. And so I wanted to make this pick a card to kind of guide you through that, to show you what it is that you might need or what you're not seeing. And so, as with every pick a card, only take what resonates and leave the rest, right? If something is not resonating with you, maybe pick another pile, or maybe this is just not the reading for you. I'm currently offering soul journey sessions where we take a look at what your soul has been wanting to tell you, but it's not like I'm going to tell you what it is that you need to hear. I always redirect people back to themselves, so their truth. So I will let you hear your answers from your soul in meditation. It's a really fun process. So if that's something that your intuition is nudging you to check out, I will link it down below. So let's choose your pile. This is pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. You can pause the video to feel within your body where you are led to the most, which pile, or maybe you can meditate on it a little bit, and then we'll move on to your pile. You can find the timestamps for your pile in the description down below. Pile number 1, this is your reading. So let's check out your cards. I already pre-shuffled. You have your commitment is being tested. Have faith in your dreams. Okay, so I already see you have big plans. You've been working towards something. You have been putting in effort. It says in Dutch, give support. So I feel like you might have been, this has to do with your relationships or either your career. Like you've putting in the effort to help people and you have been gaining momentum. You have this bigger vision. But you're also asked to rest. This is the card of stagnation, of rest. And then we have the last card. We have the 10 of Pentacles, which is reaping big rewards and success. So I'm excited to see where this is going. Looks pretty good already. Pearls of Wisdom, Whispers of Time, Nurture Yourself. We've got an extra card here, so let's see where we place this one. Luminous Path. Interesting. Okay. Let me just take a second to tune into this energy and I'll tell you more about this pile. Honestly, I feel pretty calm with this pile. The messages show up really physically for me sometimes as well, like feelings and stuff. And when looking at these cards and tuning into this energy, I just feel really calm and collected. And okay, so it could be that you're really spiritual or not spiritual at all, but then would you be watching a pick a card? I'm not sure. And I feel like you have a healthy, regulated nervous system, or you know how to meditate or how to really see what is important and leave the rest. I feel like you have a calm mind. You're pretty grounded. And you just have this master plan of how you are wanting to live your life. Doesn't mean that everything goes right, but I feel like things have been pretty good lately. And honestly, to me, this feels like a pretty balanced situation. So it could be that you really have found your place within your life, you're good where you are. I do feel like you are wondering when things are going to be, I hear spice things up. So maybe it's a little bit too stagnant for you. Maybe you want a little bit more adventure or change. I do feel like that is coming. Maybe you're going on a holiday soon, or you are expecting some money to come in, and so you will put it towards doing something fun. Or you are just going to celebrate that. But it is interesting that we have your commitment is being tested and have faith in your dream. So I do feel like you are asked to be patient. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm feeling. So you have the card of the Four of Swords, which, like I said, is like stagnation and having to be patient. But then also I see like a lot of things going right. You are giving others support. You're putting the work in. You have this vision. You're doing like your thing. That's also what I see with Pearls of Wisdom. You really do have something special to give. You know this. Other people recognize you for that as well. Or are going to recognize that because you have been putting in the work. So you are being recognized more and more for what you do. Also funny that we have Whispers of Time. So like that correlates with the card above it as well. And then these two as well. So what I'm feeling for you is your next glow up is just a matter of patience. And if there is something that I do not like hearing, it's patience. It's having to wait. And so I get why you are kind of in this feeling of wanting to spice things up, right? Having to wait for a long period of time can be pretty annoying. But I don't feel like that is necessarily the case for you. I feel like that's just a small part of it. I feel like the big part of it is you enjoying what you have to give. Using your wisdom and building whatever it is that you've been building and seeing it unfold in front of your eyes. And that's also what I feel like with the Ten of Pentacles. Like you have been seeing this growth, you have been seeing the effect, what it has on others, or like maybe your business or your studies. You see the progression. And so the funny thing is that you got an extra card, which is Luminous Path. And this kind of tells me that you know that you're going somewhere, you have the vision, you have the plan, but you're not sure what this next glow up is going to look like. And I feel like that's why you have your commitment is being tested and have faith in your dreams. And so this is actually, Spirit is telling me, a really fun time to experiment with who you want to be or what you want to do next, right? Because you do not have to change yourself. You're good enough as you are already. But a glow up kind of means like stepping into a role of more power, or maybe just doing more of what it is that you love, feeling more relaxed. Like power is not necessarily something that you have to crave. A glow up can mean anything, right? But it's more like that you're glowing. So you're having fun, you're in this joyful energy. Other people can see you glowing as well, right? And so one of the questions that you can ask yourself is maybe like, what lights me up? What makes me glow? And maybe the things that used to make you glow, and they might still do, are getting a little bit boring. And so how can you expand yourself? How can you challenge yourself to maybe look outside of your box, to maybe meet other people who are doing different things that you're used to, or maybe to follow a cooking course, or go to a different side of town when you are going out, or things like that. I'm going to pull some tarot cards for you to see like where you can redirect your focus to see where this glow up is going to take you. Because that you're heading towards a glow up is pretty clear to me. With these two cards, it's just not clear to you yet, like how that is going to unfold or what that's going to look like for you. What I also see is with Nurture Yourself, and these cards of taking the time, is that this is a necessary chapter in your life where you are just having fun, but also enjoying this waiting period. Because personally, I've been really craving this kind of energy, because in my own life there has been a lot of change, challenge, inviting me to level up quick. And so that is fun. That's kind of what you're craving, right? But if that goes on for a long time, or like sometimes that is just not the chapter that we're meant to be in. And so for me, I'm pretty tired, right? When you are growing a lot and having to look at a lot of stuff. It's also really beautiful and a fun part of life for me as well. I'm a Scorpio sun, so transformation, change is something that I thrive in. But sometimes I just wish to have a little bit more stability, right? To just enjoy what it is that I've built, something like that. And that's what the chapter that you're in. And so I'm wanting to invite you to look at it a little bit differently, to also see the beauty and the joy and like the nurturing side of this chapter as well. To recognize that it is okay to take care of yourself, take your time, figure things out, just slowly working towards your goals or fast. It's actually really lovely to do it like that. And sometimes it's a choice and sometimes it's not, right? And so you're giving what you need at a specific time in life. And so I know that I will be getting into this energy soon, hopefully, as well when it's time. And so you will also get into your glow up, your next growth spurt when the time is right as well, right? We cannot really force these things, and we shouldn't, because you're ready when you're ready. So let's see what this next chapter of your glow up is going to look like. I always get confused with how many are on these cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of Wands. Can I get a little bit more information for about one about their glow up? That's a lot. I just want 1 or 2. There we go. Okay, so we have a lot of ones. Which is fire sign energy. You also have fire here. Interesting. And then we have the 9 of Pentacles. So you have the 10 of Pentacles and the 9 of Pentacles. Okay, that's beautiful. So what I'm feeling for you is that you might not recognize it, as things might be the same old, but while you are working towards your 10 of Pentacles moment, which is coming very soon, you are, because you have the 9 of Pentacles, which is like the number before 10, right? 10 is completion, 9 is like almost there. Your commitment is being tested, almost there. You are figuring out your glow up while working towards this moment. And so you are right now, while you might not be really conscious of it, going through your glow up. You're already doing it. It might feel conflicting because you cannot really see it, but I promise you that when you are here, you are exactly where you're meant to be, and the process that you're going through now is preparing you to be able to enjoy this and to have that glow up. And it might be frustrating because you're not really seeing change or recognizing this path that you're on, like seeing how it will get you to have a glow up. But I'm being reminded of like when you are manifesting something new and you are invoking a new thought pattern, you are exposing yourself to situations that will remind you that what it is that you want is really possible for you, or that which is going to heal you is really happening. So maybe you are afraid that you cannot really speak up, and if you speak up, then horrible things will happen. And so if you challenge yourself to, even though you're scared, to speak up, and you get a positive outcome from speaking up. So maybe you start with speaking up to a loved one, right? Or a friend that you really trust. And they like really hear you, they really see you, and you have like this positive experience with speaking up. You're kind of building this momentum to rewire your brain to tell you like, oh, it's okay to speak up. I can speak up. This is like something that I can do, right? And so through these little moments, or maybe big moments, like speaking up can be like a big thing, right? But you can also do this with little stuff. You can really build your identity up, or expose yourself to different experiences by challenging yourself and then getting positive momentum. And so you get these experiences that are going right. And so what you might have thought that wasn't for you, you challenge yourself and you recognize that it actually is for you, that it is possible, that you can get a like positive outcome. Like if you haven't dated before and you go on your first date and you're like, oh, okay, I can like actually do this. Maybe you were really nervous about the whole experience of going on a date. And then you went on that date and you're like, oh, that wasn't so bad. And then you go on the next date and the next date and it's like, oh, okay, I can like do this. Something like that. And so that's what you're doing as well. But I feel like there might be more like these little things that you're wanting to do and trying out for yourself. And so like these examples that I gave you might be a little bit big, but that's for the example, right? And so it might look like minuscule changes of getting yourself used to new environments or new experiences, but it's actually building up momentum for you to be more confident and to challenge yourself and to show yourself that you can be so much more. And it might seem silly, like the things that you've been challenging yourself to do, but sometimes when we have an idea about ourselves that we cannot be that kind of person or not really do some things because it's just not like the old us, we can get stuck there, right? And then when we try something new and we figure out like, oh, that wasn't so hard, or why did I even think that I couldn't do this? This is so silly. Like it's like those kinds of things. That's kind of the energy that I'm feeling, but you are really experiencing a lot more luck, a lot more of what you can do instead of what you cannot do. So you've been building momentum. It's like, yeah, you also have like a staircase. You're leading yourself up, climbing up the ladder kind of to this momentum, to this glow up. And so with the 5 of Wands, I'm seeing that you might be a little bit disappointed in yourself, maybe of things that you blame yourself for when it comes to these new experiences, of having to tell yourself first that it wasn't for you, and then you've proven to yourself, or others have proven to you, that you can actually do it, and then you're like, why didn't I not like start doing this sooner? And you're kind of blaming yourself for not being ready before. And so that has no use, my love, because you're here now, and what happened, happened. And if you weren't ready, you weren't ready, right? And so that's the same as what I talked about before. I'm in this really fast-paced, changing energy, and you're in this beautiful building energy, feeling very grounded and stable. And so these chapters of our lives are ever-changing, right? We cannot really make ourselves be more ready sooner. That's just not how it works. And so you can blame yourself for that, but it has no use. Because you've done the best you could in the moment, right? Otherwise, you would have handled it differently. And I feel like you know that. And it's going to be okay, right? You can be proud of yourself for how far you've come and how strong you are and how good you're doing. Like, this is a beautiful energy. I feel like you have been gaining a lot of momentum. How beautiful is that? Some people stay where they are forever, right? And not growing towards something. You have a clear vision. You are giving support to others. You are building something beautiful. And you've been growing in that process. Like, how cool is that? So that was your reading. I hope that it gave you some insights. It might have helped you relax a little bit more, have more fun in this process, because, my love, you are growing towards something really cool. Your glow up is already happening. I feel like people are going to recognize your glow up pretty soon, like you shining and glowing, like you also have fire, like you're fire. Trust in that. You're doing it, okay? So give this video a like if this resonated with you. Let me know which pile you had, how it resonated. I hope you have a lovely day. If you feel like doing a soul journey with me, you can check it out in the link below. And I hope to see you in my next video. Bye! Welcome, pile 2, to your reading. So before I started this video, because I do them in like sections, take a break between, I listened to some old guilty pleasures of mine, and one of them that came up before I started to do this reading is Love Me Harder by Ariana Grande and The Weeknd. And it's pretty fitting for this reading. I felt like, oh, that's a message as well. It's pretty funny how that like starts before I'm even getting ready. So that song is about asking someone to step up. Maybe you feel like you are not appreciated, or you are not met with the same level of respect and love as you're willing to give someone else. And so Ariana is in that song like, you gotta love me harder, otherwise I'm gonna leave, right? The Weeknd is like, if I can't figure it out, whatever I do, Ariana is like, then you gotta try again. And if you're not stepping up, then you're gonna leave. So this is a pretty intense energy. You have the Tower, which is a moment of ungrounding. I'm not sure if that's a word, but it's more like something that was maybe feeling stable is now not feeling right anymore. So maybe it's a relationship that you're in or were in, and you're figuring out like, oh, this is not okay, or something happened that you're just not okay with, or you just recognize that you want more for yourself. And that's kind of what I see with the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups is a happy family. That's for sure the energy, right? And everything is going well. And then we have the Tower. And this is like the moment of like, oh shit, something is not the way that I want it to be. Then you also have the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords means that someone is not being honest or has different kinds of motives for their actions that do not align with yours maybe. Or someone is just willing to get instead of like the balancing energy of giving and receiving, right? So someone is more like trying to get something. Then we also have the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups talks about illusions, about not seeing clearly, maybe lying to oneself. I'm not sure if this is you, but I feel like in some extent it might be. In relationships, we're always mirroring each other. So it can be you, but it could also be like the other person as well. And then you also have the the Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords is a pretty clear cut. It's a decisive energy, like, okay, it's going to be like this. I feel like you are making a decision. I feel like you are reevaluating your boundaries, your goals, and the way you let others treat yourself. Okay, so I'm getting a lot of messages now that I've kind of talked about the groundwork, I feel like. And okay, so what I'm feeling, and I'm getting a lot of messages at the same time, so I'm going to try to put it in the best wording as possible, but it's a challenge right now. So I'm feeling like you recognize that you deserve something better. Something went not as you thought it was going. And you recognize what has gone, quote unquote, wrong. Or like, I'm getting kind of the visual of someone maybe being in a relationship with someone or dating someone and then figuring out like, oh wait, they also, while they were like with me and we were like exclusive, they also were dating someone else or maybe multiple people, but they said something different to me. Something like that. And so you are becoming free of the illusion of what you thought that you had, which was like happiness and things going really right, and then you're like, oh shit, something is not right, someone is having different intentions that I thought they had, this is not for me. Something like that. And so when a situation like this happens, we can get really angry and we can like blame ourselves, blame the other person, blame the other people involved or whatever might have happened, right? I give the example of dating, but this also could be like family drama, friend drama, someone talking behind your back and you are just like, okay, I'm over this. And so whatever the situation might be, the response could be taking revenge, like a revenge glow up, right? And I feel like sometimes that's needed. I've had that before, just to kind of get through the pain of people not treating me right and being like, okay, I'll show you what you're missing out on, right? Something like that. But the beautiful thing about this whole reading, because I'm being reminded of my own phase of growing through that, right? You can get stuck in the anger. You can get stuck in blaming the whole situation, blaming yourself, blaming the other person. And that is toxic energy, because that anger, I'm not saying do not be angry. I'm not saying don't stand up for yourself. I'm not saying don't get a revenge glow up or whatever. Do you, okay? What Spirit is telling me is don't let your past hold you back and no regrets. And then also, one of my favorite cards, bring love into the situation. This is reminding you to not get bitter. This is reminding you to find moments of joy, of bliss, of love in the hurt. This is reminding you to find the beauty in the situation and to let it go. And that's a really fucking hard thing to do. I know that. And I'm not blaming you if that takes a lot of effort and a lot of time. This card speaks about take the time. In Dutch it says take the time. So take the time. This is a process, right? And we can get stuck in this wanting to like glow up and prove ourselves energy for a long time. But we can also experience something different. And that's kind of what I'm getting here. You're like, maybe you have already like gone through situations like this and you're like, oh shit, here we go again. Okay, I'm over this. Let's like do the glow up thing and then move on. That could be you. Or this is like the first time that you have experienced something like this, someone like not treating you right or not being honest with you, and you're really like getting stuck in trying to move on, improve yourself and stuff like that. So talking about a glow up, what is it that Spirit wants you to do? How can you bring that love into the situation? How can you let go and not let this past hurt make you regret things or blame yourself, right? Because that's not a helpful emotion to have. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Like whatever, like however you want to deal with this, that's perfect. I'm not going to tell you to do anything that you do not, to not feel anything that you do not feel or whatever. Like it is what it is, right? And your process is your process. But anger, regret, guilt is like poisonous emotion. It can get us sick. And so when you wish anger or like revenge on someone else, they will, like, you might get that a little bit, but then that energy is mostly felt within your body. Can you follow me? So whatever it is that you wish for someone else is also what you put on yourself as well. Staying in anger, staying in revenge mode is just more felt by you than it might be felt by the other person. Of course, it feels good if you're like looking really good and you run into them and you're with someone else and you're like, too bad, you're missing out on this, or something like that, right? That feels pretty good. But then, if you're obsessing all the time about how you are being perceived and how you are going to make them feel bad or whatever, and that's a natural process, don't get me wrong. But if you stay in that too long, you only hurt yourself because you are feeling those feelings. They might have like other stuff to think about, and they do not even like recognize you trying to pull strings and stuff. Like, it might not even be useful doing this. It is like a coping mechanism, but it's smart to realize like what you are getting out of doing that as well. And breakups and stuff like that are usually the catalyst for a huge glow up because we recognize our worth. We are taking more time to take care of ourselves and trying to find joy in different places that we might have not explored before because we like have to distract ourselves and stuff like that. And so we can be on this really beautiful path of self-care, self-love, and that is really being encouraged here. You have nectar of life. It's all about being honest with yourself about your process. And I hope that you get that I'm like not blaming you for if you want to like do a revenge glow up or whatever. Like, I get that feeling. But you're also being encouraged to look at what would be the most helpful and beneficial for you in this process. And I think that is to bring love into the situation. To look at love at that other person if you're ready. To see like why they might have felt like they needed to just take or not be honest to you. What was it that made them maybe like insecure to be with more people, or right? Because they might have their reasons for that. They might be really afraid to come forward and tell you how they really felt, or they just wanted to be with more than one person to prove that to themselves that they are worthy, or that they're good enough, or you never know what's going on in someone's head. No one is in it to hurt people. Like, if you're hurting someone else, you're also hurting yourself. And so it's just silly, basically. We are just figuring our life out, trying things that might not be the best options, and sometimes we're hurting people in the process. And that's life, that happens, it sucks, and it's not fair, but we're all just trying to do our best, right? I'm not saying not to be angry at whatever happened here, but to open your mind up to see like there is more to the story. And you're being invited to look at what is the best decision for you, to move on, to look at yourself with love, how you've handled it, and how you want to move forward. And maybe if you're ready to also look with love at the other person or the other people involved in this all these shenanigans. And so you will move forward. You are already. I kind of feel like a pretty mature energy. I feel like whatever I've been talking about is on your mind already. Like, is this really helpful? What am I actually doing, right? Where do I want to move forward to? That is where you're going. Oh, I just recognized that my, how do you call this? I just recognized that this has been in the frame all along, so. Okay, so, like, it's no coincidence that this was, like, within your pile. I'm being called to look at the word Sweden. I just recorded a podcast episode. I did an interview with Marloes, who is moving to Sweden. From the Netherlands, she is moving towards Sweden. And she's such a cool person. Like, she's gone through a lot. She was a ballerina, and then she got like pretty lost, had her spiritual awakening, opened her own dance studio, and now she's moving to Sweden. Like, she is like doing her own thing, not giving a shit anymore. She's been through some stuff, but she is still connected to her heart. She is still really loving and giving to other people, and like setting these boundaries to make sure that she can take care of herself. But she's always choosing the path of love, the path of her soul, listening to what it wants her to do. Like moving to Sweden is not one, like immigrating in itself is not an easy thing to do, right? And she's bringing her whole family, like starting over, and she has a beautiful vision of what she's going to do there. Definitely listen to the podcast episode if you feel inspired to. But she used her pain for good. She did not get distracted by, she chose to not stay in the past. And I feel like that's you too. You are choosing to see the bigger picture. You are choosing to move forward with love, but also discernment. You know what is important to you. You're just cutting through the bullshit. You have a sword. So that's you. You're moving forward. Yeah, you're not letting yourself get lost in the whole, in the blame. That's beautiful. That's really powerful, actually. Let's see. Can I get more information on Pal 2's glow up? What the? Okay, I fucking love this. You have the devil and then judgment. So this is kind of an angel. It represents in the Rider-Waite tarot, like this kind of tarot. There's an angel on the card. And then you have a devil. You have an angel and a devil. And so you're moving from temptation, lying, like something a little bit sinister, to like, no, like you can choose to be in this energy, but that's not me. I'm not leveling with you. I'm moving on. I'm choosing something better for myself. Like I'm better than this. So you're moving out of the devil into energy into the angel energy. Basically, that's so funny. That's so super clear. Can I get a little bit more information for Pal 2? Basically, what they're telling is like you're becoming an angel. I asked for information on your glow up. I'm like, here you go. And you also have strength. How beautiful is that? You have the sun is shining. There's a lion with a rose. You're choosing love over pain. You're choosing love over blame, guilt, shame. You're so strong for doing that as well. Few people can do that. You see what is most important. I want to read the book on this one, The Daughter of Swords. It's a beautiful explanation. I'm not sure what it said, but let me see. Daughter of Swords, where are you? Wands, Daughter of Wands. Okay, here we go. Visionary, passionate. The Daughter of Wands is a free spirit, a true visionary creature. Like I said already, like you have this vision of what is important to you. You can cut through the bullshit. You have like your idea of how you want to do things. You're not wanting to do this. You're wanting to do your own thing, right? You're moving on, choosing love. You have this vision. She usually waits until later to settle down or start a family, as she's busy with her career. She can be stubborn and much stronger than she looks. As with all the ones in the family, the daughter makes a dangerous enemy. This card can also represent a woman going through a transformation or a spiritual breakthrough. Excuse me. These cards are so fun. It's just really clear what you're doing. Yeah, you are inventing yourself and realizing how strong you actually are. I feel like when you come out of this, and I feel like you already are kind of, you're just realizing that this is how you want to go do it. Like, this is how you want to go about it. Maybe you have been like a little bit stuck in the past and now you're like, okay, you're done with that. I'm not going to mope around anymore or stay in victim mode or whatever. I don't feel like you have done that a lot, actually. I feel like you are pretty quick to move on and choose something better. And maybe this reading is just to help you recognize that within yourself, that you're so strong. And that is just, this is your strength, to be discerning and to be true to, that's kind of what I wanted what I was getting at with the story of Marloes moving to Sweden. You are staying true to your own vision. You're not like really tapping into how other people are doing life. You are very, very discerning about what it is that you want, and you stick with that. Son of Wands. And so this card kind of gave me the representation of what kind of person you are. And then the Son of Wands is kind of similar, but it tells me that you realizing this will give you even more confidence. You recognizing this within yourself, maybe within this reading, gives you the permission to be like, yeah, that is me, and that is beautiful, and that is such a strength, and I'm doing so well, actually. And that will show on the outside as well. You knowing that you've done this right, you knowing that you are choosing discernment, choosing love, is actually a fucking superpower. And with you acknowledging that, you're starting to have this beautiful radiant energy of like, you cannot fuck with me. Like, no way. I'm doing me. And that is pretty damn inspiring for a lot of people. So that will be recognized by the outside as well. And while I'm saying this, I hear you say like, I don't really care what other people think. I'm going to do me regardless. But we're talking about a glow up, right? You cannot have a glow up without other people recognizing you glowing up. It's the mirroring of other people seeing us that makes us be like, oh, dang, I'm like really shining. Okay, other people can see it as well. And so this whole process is getting you there. You recognizing what is your strength in this whole situation. Like, you can be proud of your glow up. You can be proud of other people recognizing it. It doesn't have to mean anything, right? It does not really define your worth. You're right. You don't have to care about how other people see you, but it is a reflection. It's mirroring, and so it's working. What you're doing is working. You're glowing. You're super strong, and people admire that within you. You're kind of... Other people cannot really help but have respect for you in this situation because you came out stronger. You chose love over this, right? You're the angel instead of the devil. And so, good for you. Good for you for choosing yourself. Good for you for letting the bullshit behind, that toxic energy. Like, you do not need it. You can just move on, go for bigger, better things, and be discerning. Like, you will see this illusion sooner. Take your time, right? And know that you are so strong. I hope that this reading resonated with you. If it did, give me a like or let me know in the comments how it resonated. If you feel inspired to do a soul journey session with me, it's linked down below. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day or evening, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye! Welcome, pile 3, to your reading. So what I'm feeling for you, I actually had a moment with this candle before your reading. I tried to light it, but the last candle was already burned out, and so I needed to replace it with a new one. And I tried to light it, but like if it's already run out, right? If it cannot be lighted anymore, there's something missing. I hope you'll get this, but like every time that I light a candle, I set an intention for you. And so the intention with this new candle was that it may be shown to you what it is that you actually need. I feel like you might have not gotten the right information or the right growth for what it is that you want to like really accomplish. I feel like there is a lesson to be learned before you can get to the next chapter. And I feel like because the candle didn't want to be lit again, because it was just not able to be lit anymore, because it was like an empty candle thingy. I'm not sure how you call those little ones in English, but you know what I'm getting at. So if you're trying to get to somewhere, but your foundation is not ready, it's going to be pretty difficult, right? And so that's a tough lesson. That is a tough thing to hear. but I'm being reminded of a time in my life where I kind of needed a detour after some stuff that happened. I was in a pretty difficult situation and I got myself out of the pretty difficult situation. But then I realized like, okay, this is not what I want. I want something better. This is what I want. And I wasn't ready for that new thing. I first needed to go on a trip by myself, which you can see here on YouTube as well, the trip that I went on. And I went to Spain with myself. And that was a much needed time to learn some lessons and integrate what I've went through. And without that trip, I don't think I could have moved forward in the way that I did. I got some pretty serious realizations and I got to really tend to myself, really take care of myself, have a lot of fun, but also kind of mourn a pretty difficult situation. And so I feel like you are in a certain type of process that looks a little bit like this. And so you're being invited to have fun while you are figuring out how to move forward. Because you might think that you have figured out who you want to be and where you want to go, like how this glow up is going to look. But I feel like you're missing some information. And through self-exploration and healing, you might find that there's actually an even better version of you emerging within you that you couldn't have thought of before. And so the image that you have now might change into something even greater that you'll be very grateful for figuring out like that is also possible. It's pretty interesting, this energy. And that's all because of a candle. Like, I haven't even looked at your cards before, but that's kind of what I saw. And so figuring this out, it's actually a beautiful process. I feel like you are maybe also going on a trip of some sort, or doing some exploration, or meeting new people that show you different sides of yourself, exploring different jobs, hobbies, something like that, where you really just get to play and try new things and see how beautiful you already are. So I love that for you. Might be kind of a deception. Like he looks at these cups, right? But actually there is already one right here. And as you can see, this is like easier to grab, easier to reach for. And these are a little bit more far away, but he's just not seeing it because he's so focused on these ones. He's not even looking at them. He's like closed his eyes and is like stubborn, right? And so you're being invited to meditate, contemplate, and be open and let the universe, let life guide you to see what else is possible, to not get stuck on the mind, like what the mind thinks is a good idea, or what other people think is a good idea, right? Maybe your friends are like doing the same thing and they're all going in one direction, and you're like within your mind thinking like, oh, that's like the logical next step, right? Because everyone is doing it. But like, that could also be an option for you, and maybe that's way better than anything that you could think of, but because you're not open to it, you're not seeing it, right? So if you're open to more abundance, to the wisdom that you still have to receive, and you are already like going through this, I feel like, then you receive some much needed information that will lead you to your next glow up. I feel like you'll be gaining wisdom. And so the Emperor is a pretty sturdy man. He is a real leader. He knows what it is that he wants. Also pretty stubborn, actually. So it's not like you have to go through this really big change. I just feel like there is just some information that you haven't received. And things just need to fall into place. That's kind of what I'm getting. And so when things have fallen into place, you'll be able to move forward with more confidence, more authority, because you like wisdom, knowledge is power, right? If you can back things up with facts, there's not a lot that you can say about that, right? And so if you are sure about yourself, about where you're going and why, like you know your why, people that know why they are choosing certain things or a life path or whatever the case may be, they seem really confident and people seem to have a lot of respect for them because they just know why they're doing it. So that just creates a clear path, right? There might be obstacles on that path, but when you are connected to your why, it's easier to move forward. It's like having a clear vision. If you know what it is that you want, you know what it looks like. I feel like that is, oh, okay, get it? Like that is the knowledge. That is the thing that is missing right now. Your vision is a little bit like, it's not blurry because I feel like you have a plan, but it's going to be a little bit different. And you'll figure that out, and that is like the beautiful energy that I'm getting here. You'll get to figure that out through doing self-exploration and having a lot of fun. And the reason why I say fun is because whatever brings you joy is for you. Everything that feels joyful is just your soul saying, yes, this is for me, thank you, let's go like follow this path. And so you're figuring that out. You're just following your joy a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. And that will lead you to your next steps. That will open up this gate of new possibilities that you might have not seen before. So you're stepping out of your comfort zone. And through doing that, it's beautiful how I can like interpret these. And then it's like the puzzle pieces are falling into place for me now as well. Like that's what's happening with you. But like you also got the card of show the world the real you. When you start doing that, you are able to confidently stand in your power and show the world the real you. You're not afraid anymore of doing that because you know who that person is. You have this vision, and so, yeah, like I said, knowledge is power, and so you can stand in this. It's out again. That's weird. That's weird. I feel like that means something as well. Oh, okay. Yeah, now it's like officially out. You can see it. Like I set an intention with every candle I lit. And so I feel like, because this happened in another pick a card as well, and that also kind of was perfect timing, I feel like it's your turn now to set an intention. Think of an intention that you want to set as I'm lighting this candle. Set your own intention. What is it that you want? What is it that is important to you? What is your why? Where you are headed? Why are you heading there? What is it that you want? Don't be afraid to ask for a lot. You're here to experience life, and so don't limit yourself. There we go. Yeah, I feel like it was not my place to set an intention. This chance is here to, you set an intention for once. That's exciting. Setting intentions is a powerful practice to redirect us back to where we are headed, what it is that we want. We get to think about our clear intention. Like our intention is also our why, right? So I hope that this makes sense. What I'm also feeling is that you are coming out of this unclear period where things were just a little bit unsure. There might be a lot of miscommunication. People who were also confused. I feel like you were a little bit confused as well of where you were headed, what it was that was, maybe like in relationships or friendships, like what you were going to create, where it was that you were planning to go. And you're now moving into clear communication. So I feel like it's okay to take the time to figure things out, for things to be unclear. But like that period is over. You're ready to communicate clearly. And you guys like really want to communicate clearly. As sometimes when it's just a long period of vague intentions and figuring stuff out, like maybe we do really just not know how to make a decision or how to move forward with confidence until we get fed up with that feeling, right? Until we're like, okay, I'm like done with being uncomfortable and not taking on this confrontation. And so like that time has come now. You're like ready to communicate, even though it might be difficult or whatever. It doesn't even really bother you that it might be confrontational. It's like, okay, like let's just talk it out. Like let's make some decisions. Because I want to be myself. I want to move forward in confidence, and I just need to go on this journey with myself, for myself. It's beautiful because the first card you have is, and this is in Dutch, let love be your guiding light. And so the love that you have for yourself and the love you have for your life, that is your focus. You're here to live your best life, right? And so how can you do that? You are taking the time to figure that out for yourself. And you're not really, you're moving in this energy of not letting other people dictate how to live your life. You are ready to be open to other possibilities. You are open to let go of a lot of stuff that kind of was decided for you already. I'm being reminded of a friend I have who is now thinking of stopping with her study because it's just not really going where she wants it to go, and she applied for another job. So that's like a whole different direction, right? And so she's now opening herself up to other possibilities. She's really like tuning into what this phase of her life needs, like what she wants to explore. And that could mean like beautiful opportunities. Like Two of Cups is like love and fulfillment and working together. You have the card of total bliss. Like you're really figuring out what is going to bring you the most joy. And through doing that, you'll feel more confident. And you'll be able to step more into who it is that you want to be and who you already are. You're opening new doors, like portals. And so don't be afraid to ask difficult questions, to communicate what it is that you need, what you want, what you don't want. It's like you're pretty done with things just being vague. You don't need that anymore. Like make the choice for yourself to go through this beautiful, like it's like the butterfly coming out of the cocoon, right? You are transforming into, and it's not that dramatic actually. It's not like you are changing a lot. It's just like some puzzle pieces need to fall into place. Some little adjustments need to be made about how you view yourself and what is possible for you. And I feel like you're almost there. It's just a really fun process because you're like, maybe you are going on a trip, or maybe you are going to explore some different sides of yourself. And that's just a beautiful, fun process. So yeah, it doesn't really feel that scary or that difficult or challenging. So you're being invited to just look at it with excitement and curiosity. I also have a feeling that you might think that it's too late for something. And that makes me feel a little bit rushed. But then I'm also being guided to, like communicate these things. Don't regret not having the difficult conversation that you need to have in order to gain clarity or to clear things up. So you can move forward with that confidence. And you can do this. You are already in this beautiful energy of stepping up, becoming more of who it is that you want to be. And think about that person. Is that person also like communicating clearly, setting their boundaries, or asking for confirmation of whatever needs to be like cleared up, right? Who is that person? How would they go about these things? I'm going to get you some tarot now. Ooh. The Daughter of Swords, that's beautiful because she is not afraid of, like a Daughter of Swords, it's not afraid to ask for what it is that she wants. I think I'm going to grab the book to read a little bit about the Daughter of Swords, but first I want to get some more cards for you. And I get a little bit more information for... I also feel... oh, that's funny. About 1 or 2 also had this card, and it's like... you're being fired up, like you are really going through a glow up, but that's because you are having a fire lit under your butt is kind of what I'm hearing. So you're like, you're challenging yourself to do what it is that you might have been afraid of before, but you're now like, yeah, I know that this is like my path. I might have been afraid first, but now I'm like ready to do what is needed. Beautiful. So it does feel like a waiting period. You do not know how this is going to turn out. It's pretty exciting, but it's also like the unknown, right? It's an option you haven't thought of before. You could not have thought of before because it's kind of new. You're like now ready to see this new option, hear about this, and step into that person. Like maybe a few months before, or like a year before, like where you are right now, you might not have been ready to even think about this option. But now that you have grown, you are ready to step into something new. And so we always get what we're ready for, right? And so you might like think, why didn't I like think about this earlier, or why did I not see these things? But the puzzle pieces falling into place are always there sometimes when you least expect it. That's what I'm hearing. Okay, so I'm kind of making the connection with you feeling like you're running out of time. But I also hear like you getting the answers when you least expect it. You have 2 fire thingies here. And so I feel like it's coming hot and quick. Like it's like, whoa, what is this? But you feel really excited about this. Or it's just like when it's something that is revealed to you that is like not that pleasant, it's going to be quick and you're going to like make a fast decision to take care of it. You're able to handle this, but it's going to feel a little bit overwhelming. You might doubt yourself, like, okay, am I ready to do this, or am I ready to move into this next chapter? But like I said, like you do not get anything that you cannot handle. Everything is coming on your path for a reason, at the right timing. Like a year before, you might not have been able to handle this, but because it's happening now, it's kind of the universe saying like, okay, you're ready now. Like, let's do this. You're coming out of this energy, right? You wanted clarification. You wanted to have a clear direction. And you wanted clarity. And so the puzzle pieces are starting to fall into place. It might feel overwhelming. But you are the Daughter of Swords. I'm going to take a look at the book. Also, I got the explanation of this one, and the sentence that stood out to me was like, the lamp sits in stillness without fear. And so it's okay to fear it, but I feel like you're like so able to handle this. It's just that you have to wait a little bit. Might feel like, why is it taking so long? But it's coming. It's definitely coming. And you're also being invited to take the first step, right? We do not always have to wait for the answers because we're scared to get into the ring, to get clarification and whatever. So don't let that hold you back to seek your answers. But it might be that your answers are like coming from an unknown source and you're like, oh, wait, I didn't expect that. Like to hear it so soon, or from you, or in that way. Okay, the Daughter of Swords. The Daughter of Swords is a young woman whose honesty and insight take her far in life. People truly value her frankness. She learns from keen observation. It almost seems as though she never stops watching. Sometimes this becomes a burden for her as she can't help notice this or that small detail that could have been done better. There's potential for her to hold onto those experiences and become spiteful and judgmental. Yeah, I feel like that is kind of the energy that you're moving out of. You're moving out of the fog and moving into more clarity, to not hold on to the past, but to get yourself in this new energy through taking your time, through exploration. And that's beautiful. Is there anything else you want to? Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so what I'm hearing is that you should not be holding on too much of what you know is already lost. You might have the tendency to take the route other people are taking or want to take. Like I said, other people might be doing this and you're so focused on that because others are doing that, but like there are a million different options out there, and don't be afraid to walk your own path, right? This is going to give you so much more joy. You're following your joy, and so that might be scary, that you might not feel ready for that. And so take your time, right? You don't have to rush yourself, but you're ready. And even if you don't feel ready, like the universe's spirit is like, you will be ready when the challenges are facing you. You will be meeting them like head on. Like this option is already here, it's already created, and you're just having to step through that door. You're just having to get through this to see things differently. And so you're heading towards more being sure of yourself, being sure of what it is that you're creating in your life. If things are up in the air, if things are not clear right now, you're moving towards freedom, towards a strong foundation, and being sure of who you are and what it is that you want to create. And it's going to be a beautiful journey. So if it's scary right now, don't let your past hold you back. Don't let your fear hold you back. Just know that you have everything that you need. And that it's okay to feel scared, but to choose yourself anyway. Because you want to be like the leader of your own life, right? You want this. You want your bliss. And your bliss, your idea of fun, your idea of your dream life might not be what everyone else sees as their dream life, right? And sometimes other people are just focused on what their parents have been doing and think is like the best option, or their friends, or they're led by fear, and so they might not actually know what they want as well, and they are just letting other people dictate how to live their life. They might not even know that this is how they are living their life, right? And not that that's wrong. I think that a lot of people are just not aware of their own power. They're just not aware of or they're not capable of dreaming big, of doing things differently, of following their unique voice, because they might not have been shown how to do that. They might not know that that is actually safe, and that they have that option out there as well. And so don't let your fear lead your life, right? Just because somebody else is choosing to live a certain way doesn't mean that you have to do the same. And I don't think you are. I think that you're pretty aware of what it is that you want, but you also have the tendency to stay within your comfort zone, right? As we all do, because that just feels safe. And so things are shifting, and that doesn't feel safe. So don't be afraid to cut some cords, to stay close to yourself, because you are pretty wise. You know what it is that you want. And even if you do not know it now, you will. Like, that's what we saw. I just feel like I need to shut up. I feel like you know this. So yeah, good luck. Believe in yourself. I'm excited to see where this journey will be taking you. And just know that you have everything that it takes to get through this. Okay? Let me know if this resonated with you. Let me know in the comments or by leaving a like. I'd love to hear from you. If you feel like you would love to do a soul journey, the info for that is in the description. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day or evening, and I'd love to see you in my next video. Bye!